Hello Stampers, I'm Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin in the United States. Today I'm excited to show you a fun technique with embossing paste. I'm going to be using the shimmering white embossing paste and I'm going to show you some cool cards that I made. And this is all part of the Totally Techniques blog hop for August. So when you get done watching my video, right under the video on YouTube in the description is a link that's going to take you back to this particular blog post. And when you scroll down past my projects, you're going to see some little thumbnails of some more projects made with embossing paste. And it's part of that blog hop. So you click on the first one, it'll take you to another blog. You look at theirs and read theirs. Click on the next one, it's going to take you to another blog. So we're going to have several different blogs using embossing paste, and it's a free-for-all. Like, we can do whatever we want with it. So I'm hoping that you're going to have a great variety of ideas for embossing paste. I know that I've found it really fun to work with. So let me turn this camera around and we're going to get started. I'll show you what I made. So what I've got here is I have the shimmery white embossing paste. This is a beautiful paste that already has glitter infused into it. Can I say infused? That's kind of a fancy word. I think I can. There's also a regular matte embossing paste that we carry also, that Stampin' Up! Carries. So the first thing I wanted to do is show you some neat ideas. You can use this paste on a card, like let's say you have a Christmas tree, and you can touch the edge of that tree and add snow to it. This will dry solid, okay? The other thing you can do is you can take a piece of cardstock and you can smear the embossing paste along the bottom and have like a snow line, like ground with snow on it. And that's also really attractive. This is great for snowmen, all kinds of things like that. That's not what I'm going to be showing you today, but I just wanted to let you know that those are some things you can do with embossing paste. I'm going to show you the embossing paste using these new basic pattern decorative masks. Now, these are not available until September 4th. They're coming out in our holiday mini catalog. And if you're in the US and you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you would like to get a copy of that holiday mini catalog, email me right here and I would be happy to send one to you. Don't forget to include your address. A lot of times people don't give me an address and it's like, well, I need your address. I'd be happy to send you a catalog. So we've got this beautiful tree decorative mask, and then we have these images, some polka dots, which are always fun, and then kind of a filigree pattern. You'll see this in our designer series paper that's part of our Halloween suite too, so that's kind of neat looking. First thing I wanted to show you was the trees. So what do we do with the trees? The first thing I'm going to do is bring in some soft suede cardstock. And I would generally use a bigger piece than this, but this is just a sample. I wanted to show you how this works. So you want to make sure you keep your decorative mask down on your cardstock, and you also have something under it to protect your surface so you don't, have a big mess to clean up. But all you do is just scrape it on like this, and you can see as I'm doing that, I'm pushing it in to where it's not in the mask yet, and then I'm scraping it off the mask itself. So you want to make sure that you start with a good amount on your palette knife. Get this on here. And you're just going to scrape that on there. It's super easy and fun. And scrape it off like that. Now, you can pull your mask up right away. And this is what you're left with. And isn't that pretty? Now, of course, the shimmer has the glitter in it, the shimmery white. So my trees look like they are kissed with sparkles from the snow. So that's how you use it. That's a basic way to use it. Now, I'm going to clean up my surface here so I can show you something else to do with paste. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of black cardstock. I could use the white shimmer paste on the black cardstock, but instead I decided I wanted to give it a little color. So you want to make sure that you get enough paste so that you have one batch, okay? You want to have enough to cover your surface, so however big that may be. I'm going to take some Mango Melody re-inker. I put 2 to 3 drops in there. These palette knives, by the way, are really nice. We also sell these. These are perfect for working with the paste and any other kinds of mediums like this that you like to stamp with. But we're just going to mix this up good so our color is uniform. Isn't that pretty? I can see this for some Halloween cards for sure. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this filigree. Oops, I got a little piece of fuzz on there. Yeah, stuck on there pretty good. There we go. I'm going to bring in this filigree on a dark layer of cardstock. And again, make sure you're holding your mask in place good. You don't want that to move or slip, pick up, because you don't want the paste under the mask. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so pretty. Now you can see how simple this is. I'm just scraping the paste off now. And now we're going to lift that up. Look at how gorgeous that is. Let me get some more light in here. So this was Mango Melody. I made a card with Gorgeous Grape, and I'll show you in just a second. But you might have a little bit of the paste that's kind of sticking over the edges. Once that's dry, I just take my fingernail, or you can actually use your palette knife and just go along the edge, and it'll take care of it. Okay, next one. Let me get this cleaned up again. And I'm just using a baby wipe on my silicone mat. This is another product that Stampin' Up sells. It's called a silicone craft mat, I think. And they're relatively inexpensive, but I like to use them for any type of projects like gluing stuff. You can put your stuff on here and glue it. The glue will then dry and it'll just rub right off of the silicone mat. They're pretty nice. Then I'm gonna get my mask cleaned up here. I do recommend cleaning these right away. Again, you can take them into the sink and rinse them under water, but I don't have a sink in my studio. My next studio, maybe. Probably not. But yeah, it just cleans right up. You may have a little bit of residue left on there, but that's certainly not going to hurt your next project. Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. A little bit of a dirty mask tells me that you're using it, and that makes me happy. Okay, next, I wanted to show you one more technique that I thought was pretty neat. I've got a piece of early espresso here, and I'm going to bring in, oh, I could have used the rest of that. That would have worked fine, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. So now I've got some crushed curry, and I was looking for kind of a fall look for this. And I'm going to grab my paste. I'm going to bring in some crushed curry re-inker. And again, I've got 2 to 3 drops should be sufficient. We're going to mix that up. This is one of my favorite fall colors. I can't hardly wait. If summer's going to leave, I want fall to happen right away because the leaves get so pretty. Everything looks gorgeous before everything falls off and dies, right? That was kind of a bummer. Okay, another thing that I like to do is kind of give a shabby chic look. So I've got a rather large sheet of early espresso here. Well, I shouldn't say sheet, a layer, a larger layer. And one thing I like to do is just kind of take my palette knife and just spread it randomly across my layer. Just like this. And then what you have is a pattern that looks something like that. You're like, that's interesting, right? I think what I'm going to do, I've got 2 cards I'm going to share the details with you on that I have completed. I'm going to save this and use it for my Sunday night Facebook Live. So I am on Facebook every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time at A Stamp Above Your Creative Coach. If you go onto Facebook and just do a search for A Stamp Above - Your Creative Coach, you're going to find me. 7 p.m. Central Time on Sunday night, and that will be September 1st. and I'm going to make a fall card out of this. So I'll show you what I do with this. But I have two other cards that I wanted to share with you. The first one uses this filigree. Now this one I did in Mango Melody. This one I did in Gorgeous Grape. And what do you think of my fun little Halloween card? I love using grape for Halloween. Purple's a perfect color, and then I used Granny Apple Green. Let me tell you, hang on, I'm going to close this up. Let me tell you about this framelit and the greetings. So this is the Spooktacular Bash and also the Ornate Frames dies. The frame that I die cut here is this one right here, but you have all these fabulous frames. And again, this is a brand new product coming out September 4th in our new holiday mini catalog. So these two are part of the Monster Bash suite, and they are sold as individually or as a bundle. So if you buy both of them, you're gonna save 10%. And I love that these images do fit nicely into these different frames, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different dies in here. So this is really cool. And don't you love the ornate, detailed dies around the outside edge? Yeah. So I used Gorgeous Grape with black cardstock and the shimmery white paste. Then I stamped my two monsters. These are coming from the Boo to You. This is another adorable stamp set coming out in the holiday mini catalog. I stamped those and colored them in with my Stampin' Blend alcohol markers and cut them out. They're all mounted on dimensionals. And then I've got our mini striped grape ribbon here that I just added with a mini glue dot. I will have all the details for these cards. For example, which colored markers I used to color them, and all the details will be on my blog. Again, the exact address and link is underneath this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Then, what did I do with the trees? These trees, I took and I used, cherry cobbler ribbon and cherry cobbler cardstock. And then we have another brand new bundle that's pretty neat. This is really interesting and it's different. It's called Tags, 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 and Trio of Tags. Oh my goodness, I got paste all over me. I'm kind of a mess. So the neat thing about these is each one of these, there's 3 stamps in here and they look like this. So when you stamp them, you stamp all 3 at once, and then you die cut them with this die, and it die cuts all 3 at once. There's also some other really cute little elements, pumpkins, snowflakes, and hearts in here that go along with the greetings in the tags, tags, tags. And here are the tags, and of course you can stamp them on any color. They've got holes in them so you can tie them onto little goodie packages. Super, super sweet. I took the Bring On the Merry and stamped it with Versamark ink onto cherry cobbler cardstock and then embossed it with white embossing powder. Die cut it, mounted it on dimensionals. This is one of the stitched nested shape labels. What are they called? I never remember. Stitched nested labels. I had to do this because I couldn't remember. And this is actually number 2. So I number mine. So the biggest one is missing right now, but that's number 1. This one's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this is just the odd man out up here. But I used number 2 on our vellum cardstock just to make this be a little more substantial and to pop. And then we have this diagonal striped ribbon. This is in cherry cobbler, also part of the holiday mini catalog. And that's what I used on here. So I took a piece and taped it around the layers and tied a little bit over here. So I've got kind of a faux little bow there. What do you guys think? This is a very simple card to make. You can make up a whole bunch of these. Let them dry. Oh, and by the way, the drying time is really quick. Like, this is dry. These are both dry already, just in the amount of time that it's taken me to do the video. Now, one thing I do recommend with embossing paste is that you get it cleaned up fairly quickly. You don't want to leave this sit until the next day or later tonight or whatever. You do want to clean it up fairly quickly because it gets pretty hard when it's dry. But yeah, this is a neat new stamp set. Tags, tags, tags. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially at Christmas time for putting tags on presents. Make your own tags. That's always fun. So I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek of some of these brand new products. And like I said, I am going to feature this layer in my Sunday night Facebook Live. I hope you guys can join me. It's a lot of fun. I give away prizes on there. You can ask me questions. I'm really there in real time. So not sure about on the other side of the globe what time 7 p.m. Central Time is, but I always post it onto my Facebook page so you can watch the replay after we're finished being live also. Okay, if anybody has any questions about embossing paste or any other questions about stamping, I would love to help you out. Make sure you click up here to head to my blog to follow along on the blog hop to see what everybody else did with embossing paste today. The Totally Techniques design team is all over the world. So we've got one demonstrator in each country all over the world. So it's really fun. Make sure you click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming out. If you would like to place an order with me, I always appreciate your orders. You can hop right on over to my blog at this address. This is my current host code when it asks you for that. Only use that if your order is under $150. If your order is over $150, Stampin' Up! Is going to give you some rewards, and I want you to have those. Once again, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.